That was beautiful.
Hey, thanks.
Was that a little mod from the MS3?
Yeah, I had someone say in the comments that the MS3 is trash. That kind of hurt my feelings.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
That sounds good to me. But
it hurt my feelings too.
Because you have one.
Yeah, because I have one. Okay. ASUS, today we're talking about ToneX.
Yeah.
And it sounds really great.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what may sound great for $30? These Joyos right here. I feel like 6 years ago, these were really big on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, check out these Joyos.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I went to go look at demos and they are all dated looking now. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess that's when these were hot. But
so people probably haven't seen yet, but we built a Joyo board and we did a little shootout on the podcast.
Yes, we did.
And I won't spoil just how impressed we were.
Yeah.
But these
You're
were pretty
about to hear them though in this video.
These were good. These were good.
Yeah, I actually really like them.
We did a bunch of effects and everything, but
yeah.
But these were cool. Mm-hmm. And dude, for $30,
I know
they're really good.
Yeah.
So here we've got, what are we playing here? TJ58.
This is the Bandmaster.
This is the Bandmaster right
like
here.
Like a clean 1-1 or something.
Yeah, 1-1. So like the cleanest bright channel. Play a little more. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can kill the mods. We can hear the amp. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Do we think the Joyo American can sound that good?
We should try.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
But one of the things I think is cool about this test, sometimes I feel like a lot of these shootouts and like when they're showing the Joyo stuff, like a box like this, it's always through like Joyo effects or with other Joyo stuff, which may not be great.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool to place it among, people might say, come on, a Joyo with a timeline and a big sky. That's a little...
Yeah.
But, you know, this feels a little more like this setup here you see on the board. This feels a little more like how it would actually be used if you're someone who's just looking for a quick and dirty direct solution for a gig or whatever.
Especially if you're a tube amp guy and you just want to throw it in the bag. Yeah. Like that's a good use for it. It's just kind of like, ooh, whoops, I need something.
If this sounds good, we're going to feel terrible about our other purchases.
We're about to find out.
Hey.
It's an amp sound.
It sounds like an amp.
It's already there. Yeah.
It sounds pretty good. It really does. This voice knob, if you turn it up, you can make it sound like a lot more aggressive. And so the drive's still off, but just the voice.
Yeah, it gets dirtier and more tweedy maybe?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. There's a tweed like version of this pedal.
Oh,
but this sort of does something raunchy, tweedy. Try that. I think of it as like smaller to larger amp. So this maybe is like a vibro champ. And then we go like Princeton into deluxe or something, you know, like it's broken up at this level. And then this is like all twin, like you hear the highs and stuff.
Yeah, and really clean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like, I think that's the sweet spot. I think there's I think that's a decent sound.
Let me turn some of these.
Yeah.
There we go. Less worshipy now.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
You know?
How would you, so let's say this is your your actual, like, is that clean enough that you can put some drives on it?
So,
like,
yeah.
like how? Show me some tones from this board. If you didn't have your ToneX and you had this instead, what would all of these pedals and the compressor sound like? Using the compressor at all?
That's been off, but
So since it's all going through the looper, what's on right now?
So just this is on. Plus
Just the compressor.
Yeah,
got
the
it.
Strymons.
Compressor's not in the loop then.
Yes, it's outside.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so maybe I'd go here, protein. This is the blue channel. Now that's in the signal.
Hey,
I'm already pretty happy with that.
Sounds like a
Let's try the green.
sounds like a cool guitar, you know? All right.
Okay.
Not bad.
Charlie?
Yeah. It's not a bad sound.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
$30. I mean,
Yeah, $30.
Goodness.
Could we put a little delay and reverb on here? What do we?
Just,
What do you just?
you remember how to operate this?
Do I remember how to do one of these? How's this? How's this dotted eighth? And there we go. That's the Charlie Brown.
That
huh?
was the that's the
that
green
was this
side.
guy. Where's
Yep.
the Charlie Brown? This one?
Yep.
Let's hear that. I think we're accidentally proving something.
What's that?
I think that the more effects you put on, delay, reverb, drive, and stuff,
Yeah.
the less and less your amp tone matters. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, you want the amp tone to marry nicely with these things, but there's sort of, I think, a generic nature that you could go for. Something Fender-esque.
Right.
And the drive pedal, you know,
true.
seeing a scoopy-ish signal will impart its own tone in a way that you will lose a lot of the nuance of the underlying thing.
Yeah, these are doing most of the heavy lifting.
They're doing a lot,
You
yeah.
know, like, and the American is basically
Yeah.
just like holding those up.
Yeah.
So saying, is this good? You know?
Especially because we're using a good amount of gain.
Yeah.
If we were to use less gain and do more level and push it,
You need more nuance from the
we would
amp.
probably be relying more on it. But it's just up to how people run pedals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the delay and reverb, to your point, you know, like once you hear all that trail and the beautiful swirly stuff, it's
Yeah.
kind of like your ear kind of goes to that as like, oh, that's a good sound. You
Yeah. Can I try this?
Yeah.
I'm curious as to like how touch sensitive it is. All right. Not terrible. There we go. That's good. it's a little. I mean, I'm using the comp there, a little bit. It's not the feel wise, sound is one thing. Feel, it's not the most like dynamic.
Yeah, or character. I would say like it's pretty bland in terms of like it's not like getting the nuances and like the sag and compression of like certain profiles I'm used to playing. But
it doesn't. It feels like the words that come to mind are flat, one-dimensional, cardboard.
So you might like it less than I do. I'm actually kind of feeling.
No, I'm impressed, but I'm just going feel wise. Does it shape up to a tube amp? I mean, not even close.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's really different. I mean, this helps because. No, it still doesn't really.
You were hoping.
You can just really tell. I mean, it helps. Look, I mean, the harder you run a compressor in front of an amp, the less you feel the amp. Yeah. So if we dial up this compressor more, we'll just feel the compressor.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why, like, you get a lot of people who will use different things that are, I'll just say, less dynamic than a tube amp. And they'll go, I don't notice a difference. And I notice sometimes you talk to people, you go, oh, well, it's because you run a compressor pretty heavy up front. You don't even feel the amp. You always hit the amp with a very, you know what I mean? Like your dynamic is always very even out. And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just when someone's like, how responsive is it? They're looking for a certain thing.
Yeah.
This doesn't have that. But adding these drives and stuff for $30, the one quality I would say that I hear in something like the ToneX or in the Kemper or in the Quad Cortex or all these other things, there's a real, like, it feels like a lob off of the sound in this American pedal. It doesn't feel like there's any airiness in the top end.
Oh, okay.
It almost just sounds like it ends.
Okay.
Like it doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't sound like I'm listening to a thing in a real room. Okay. And I think that's what gives it the flat feeling. Huh. Do you feel that way?
I mean, I wouldn't have said anything about the high end had you not mentioned it. So
yeah, it just feels a little. It's not bad at all.
Right.
It's not bad. Actually, I like it the more I play it.
That's kind of where I am.
Yeah. It gets more and more impressive for $30.
Other one.
Let's try the British. That sounds better than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So I think these pedals kind of operate in the same way. I felt like the American kind of did a little bit of a good job at maybe emulating a couple different amps.
Yeah.
In the sense that it felt like a bigger, more scooped amp. This control kind of works the exact same way, but it doesn't remind me as much of any amp in particular. So here's the voice way up.
Does it still add gain when you come up on it?
Yeah, it adds gain, and it seems to have a lot of mid-range, and it cuts the low end out. So I think it's like it does a kind of a good job in that way, emulating like little amp, lots of dirt, and not a ton of low end, and then big amp, cleaner, not as much low end. And of course, you still have the drive, but all things considered, yes, this is a lot more dirty. Try that.
Okay.
And that's like little amp, I guess. If you come down here and then we up the gain, we can hear like, bigger amp, more lows, but with more drive.
it's like fun to play, actually.
It's kind of good.
Yeah.
It's kind of good.
Yeah.
Like in a way I wasn't expecting. It's kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
Give me
some
like
drives, maybe.
Yeah. You want to try some drives? So what's this is the ODR one kind of esque thing.
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, it sounds really good actually. So kind of I feel like in a weird way, like try the Charlie Brown before I say this, just make sure I'm correct.
Okay.
It's a little bit awesome.
Dude.
I mean, $30.
Like, I'm just thinking, if I was getting that sound from any modeler or Kemper or anything else, I would be happy. Like the sound that I'm hearing right now, I can't tell on playback or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like the smile that it brings to my face when I'm just riffing.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. It's
this
good.
is pretty cool. This is a pretty
Now,
cool.
These are running IRs. Okay, so we put our
No, they're not. I was gonna say, wait, what? These run IRs?
No.
No, these are $30 analog Joyo pedals.
It's nuts.
Hey, I mean, for $30, you can't go wrong, obviously.
And the versatility is not there. You know, you're not. I mean, how versatile is this piece of equipment?
Yeah,
You know, like
this will work if you kind of want to run it like this with drives and other things. You need pedals to give you versatility.
Yeah.
If you're but it can function as just a 1 amp sound.
yes,
You're
this
not
is closer to an Iridium or like a ACS1, even less than those because at least they can change sounds.
Yeah.
This can't give you an American clean.
Right. It's just this vibe and this. But you could buy both of these for $60.
I was going to say, the money. Yeah.
I mean, that's really.
If you don't mind unplugging stuff, you have versatility. You know.
These are like, I don't know why they're so cheap. You might even be able to find them used like on Marketplace or something for even less. But I will say this, I sold all the Joyo pedals that we bought for the shootout.
Hey, you said no spoiler alert.
Sorry. Well, I mean, I'm not saying whether I loved them or didn't like them. I just don't need them all.
Maybe that was a spoiler alert.
Yeah, but I bought a bunch of them, and I'm not these are the only two I've kept, and these are the ones I've had the longest.
Yeah.
Because they are worth so little, but they are kind of awesome. You
should play it too. I want to hear it with that.
Yeah,
let's
hear it with this.
Yeah.
It's definitely like woofy and barky and kind of big. This probably, I mean, you know. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's just a cool sound.
Get this drive. Here, try this.
It makes me think like, what is that amp? Like that's what my head keeps going to. What amp is that? And I think it's kind of
Plexi, JTM, or
it's just British. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like when you roll up the voice and it's like the smaller, you know. It's not really. It just sounds angry,
right?
You know. And then this is like. That's more plexi-ish, I guess. But
it's generic for sure. It's not like nailing it.
It's generic, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that'll get you a little bit of gain, you know?
Yeah.
This is the ODR.
That's the, yeah.
cool,
fun.
man. It's a good
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing.
And you could run these in stereo. Like if you're
totally
at the end of your board with these pedals, you could hit them in stereo, set them kind of differently, and
they're so cheap. You would probably spend more on the direct boxes if you had to buy those as well.
No, that's actually true. Unless Joyo has direct boxes.
I think they do.
Yeah,
I think I wouldn't.
I was thinking too, like some people might run both of these on their board. I was saying like versatility.
Yeah,
you just turn one on and turn the other off. Like you'd have different
you
sounds
could do
next
that.
to each other.
It might be a little bit of a nightmare, like balancing the level.
Yeah, I mean, but if you had your settings that you used every night, and it was like I like that for that and that for that. I don't know, man.
It's definitely a thing. Is this your bigger?
Small, medium, large.
Oh, there's 3, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not a tap. You know.
Mm-hmm. Really large.
It was bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what she said.
Yeah.
Okay. British, American.
Which did you like more? Sorry, I cut you off.
I think I could see myself being more happy with the American as a pedal platform, but the British feels more like an amp because the gain was pretty usable.
Yeah, in itself. Yeah. Yeah. I like that one more too.
Is it worth buying a ToneX?
Again, for me, it's about the versatility and actually having the
the
real
ToneX
amps.
sounds way better. I'm not gonna lie and say these sound as good as the ToneX.
But I think, this is like the least scientific thing. I think I could get a sound in here, 1 or 2 sounds that would make me just as happy as this. But I couldn't move from those at all. Like as soon as I started,
I'll be honest, I wouldn't even go that far. And I'll tell you what, let's plug the ToneX back in.
Okay.
And because sometimes you forget. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no,
you start listening to something a lot, you forget, and then you go back. And
I know.
I have a feeling that if we go back to the ToneX, we're gonna go, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So it sounds like we went from 480p to 4K.
High def.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's so much more detail, so much more depth and presence.
Yeah.
The presence feels like it goes all the way up to the end of my hearing. Whether there's any information there or not, it doesn't feel like
something got cut off.
Yes.
Yeah.
The lows feel big and swirly, and then that makes everything in the middle seem really complex and natural and like analog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is ironic because this is digital and this is analog. Do you know what I mean? Like, but this sounds more natural and real than this,
right?
Which sounded very like a cardboard cutout of an amp.
Interesting.
Like from a distance, that's a real amp. You ever see that show where they make anything out of cake? My family watches.
Oh yeah,
it.
we love it. Is it cake?
Is it cake?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
It's like a record player. Like, of course that's not cake.
Imagine if we cut this right now and it was cake. This whole rig has been cake. But that's a little bit like it's not. If you got close and once you tear it apart, it's obvious. It's like, oh, it's cake.
Right.
You know, it's.
I think in terms of like professional sound or recording or gigging, obviously, and we're not talking about $1,000 piece of gear. Where this is $399. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this is already affordable in terms of these are less than a new Big Sky.
$399, and I think if you buy 2 of them together, don't they give you a discount?
Oh yeah, it's like even less, like $350 a piece or something.
Yeah, and then it comes with Max. The Max software, which I think already sold for $150 or something.
It's already well priced, but these in terms of budget solutions.
Yes.
I was going to say like this for gigging and recording all that stuff, but for having fun and like plugging into an amp and just jamming, like they weren't killing my ears, you know?
And if you're in a situation where you play amps, but you got to like travel for a gig, you got a fly gig, like you're gonna get on the couple hour flight and you're just going to bring a little board, I could totally get away with this.
Oh, for sure.
I could totally get away with it at a gig or
I've
whatever.
I've played bar gigs, and that would have been great. Like,
totally.
No one cares.
I mean, look, right here, we're in Nashville. If you go down to Broadway, nobody's playing. Nobody's playing expensive amps that they're dragging out. Nobody. Yeah. Maybe one or two guys.
The smallest amp that will get them the next
I've
gig.
seen guys playing crate power blocks. Remember those crate power blocks? I've seen
for sure.
Tons of pods, tons of those quilter amps.
Yeah.
The solid state, just whatever they can drag out that's quick to set up.
I gigged with a solid state Pathfinder for years.
Yeah.
And they sound fine.
Well,
do they? I didn't say good.
They sound fine.
They sound fine.
Yeah. You still get paid at the end.
That's if you can get the next gig, then you're solid. Yeah.
So
what did we learn today?
You can get some really good stuff for $30, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And digital is the new analog. That's what we learned today.
Wow.
This sounds more analog than the real analog pedals.
Dang.
Bravo, Joyo.
Yeah.
But who's the winner? We're the winner. We get to own all of the.
I see that all the time in comments, like, what a time to be a guitar player, and like, who really wins to the guitarist?
Right.
And there's some truth to that.
Yeah, $30. Yeah. It's pretty incredible, but
that was fun.
Yeah, digital sounds way better. All right, well, Suze.
Yeah,
I'll be profiling these and capturing them for ToneX.
We should. Oh my gosh,
I'm sure they're up there already.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Maybe I should do one. All right, I've been HW. Suze, you want to play us out on this beautiful?
I will.
On this beautiful. What do you want to do? You want to give something kind of ambient?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Let me see if I can make that huge one work.
Yeah, that huge one was so big.
And then the dual chorus maybe.
Ooh.
Let's see what happens.
How this sounds.